안녕하세요. 커피를 많이 마시는 분들, 그 다음에 이제 카페를 운영하시는 분들이라 하시면 2022년은 조금 힘든 한 해시지 않으셨을까 이제 싶습니다. 2022년에는 이제 커피 가격이 좀 큰 폭으로 인상이 되는 한 해였는데, 과연 이제 내년은 어떻게 될 것인지에 대해서 이제 커피를 판매하고 커피를 사야 되는 입장에서 저도 개인적으로 많이 궁금해서 브라질에서 오신 이제 손님 두 분을 모시고 인터뷰를 하면서 이번 영상은 한번 잘 봐주시고 의견을 공유해보는 시간도 가졌으면 좋겠습니다. Most people don't know who you are. Could you explain, introduce yourself a little bit?
Well, my name is João Matos. I'm from Brazil. I work as commercial director in CLAC. CLAC. Today we work with more than 450 cooperatives in Latin America in 11 countries. But I'm a coffee producer. My family has a small roaster in Brazil. We started 21 years ago.
Wow.
With specialty.
Oh,
okay, it's first brand in Brazil if use the BSCA label. Okay.
I'm Paulo. I'm from Brazil too. Right now I'm working CLAC too, as commercial manager for coffee, helping the cooperatives, organizations, fair trade organizations in Latin America to promote their products, to tell their history to the world. And I am also a coffee producer with my father, with my brother. We have a small farm. And we produce fair trade organic coffee there in South Minas, and also focused on the specialty coffee.
The conference, the WCLF, right? What was it about it, and then how was it?
How the coffee producers in Latin America are facing the climate change. The main theme that we talked about, Monica and I, the producers to face this problem and to, I wouldn't say avoid this problem because it's impossible to avoid, but to make problem lower, let's say, and keep producing coffee in the future.
So maybe could you explain about the climate change and what happened in Brazil 2022?
Well, not just in 22. The frost, for example, is 21. But after that, we have a dry weather, okay, before this harvest, this year, in 22. How I say, the circle. Because if you remember, in 70, we have a frost time in Brazil. Then in this time, the main production state is Paraná. Then the coffee moving to Minas Gerais. Then maybe today, of course, we have more information. Then if you have a frost today, tomorrow, everyone have access to this information. It's totally different if you think 20, 30 years ago. Okay? Then sometimes it's not this case, but you have a small case and the people put too much. Of course, the frozen time is very hard last year in the dry weather too. But we need to understand we have more information today, and the production side is totally different. In the past, we need 4.5 years to start, and you plant and make the first harvest. Today, with irrigation, we need just 2 years. Then it's faster to replant or restart a new or put a new plantation. The frozen time is very hard last year in the dry weather too. Good agricultural practices as shadow. Okay, then how you can move or use the new technologies for looking for more sustainable coffee production. Paul is a producer. Yes.
I think the frost and the drought were big problems. It will not be only this year. We are gonna suffer more extreme. My city was really affected last year. And also, for example, right now we are having other problems, like we had the drought after the frost, and right now we are having like hailstorms in Brazil. My region is being really affected with huge hailstorms that we have never seen. So I think that producers need to adapt it well. They will need to do a migration, the coffee plantation will need to do a migration to other regions.
Right.
Less affected. It happened in the 70s. We could see last year during the frost, for example, some producers that were neighbor lost everything. And the other one lost only 30% of the coffee tree. So he could keep the crop and recover right now. That the producers can implement and
Yes, for example, for the dry weather, we have a new varieties.
Yeah.
We can or different systems or a shadow. Okay,
Yeah.
We have different technologies. I think to implement it for the next years.
Yeah.
after the frost, after these problems that we had in the last year, it's becoming more common. The producers start to talk and start to think to do that in the future.
Disaster in Brazil affect on the coffee price of the world.
Brazil is the main coffee producer in the world. So,
Yes.
and big problem that affected the coffee production in Brazil brings some uncertainty to the market. So because this, the price gets higher. And when Brazil produce less than it should produce, everybody is fearing to do not have their coffee and start to buy it. So we need to buy that, so the price start to increase. That's the main point. The volume of that Brazil produces is really important for the world. It's 30%, 40% of the worldwide consumption.
What do you think about next year harvest?
Still, we still have too much things to happen until the crop. That may affect the volumes for the next crop. We had a good flowering, but the coffee trees are not healthy enough to sustain all the flowering. It happened in the last year too. So we are already seeing that the flowering is not in accordance that what we are seeing right now in the field, but we are gonna have more coffee than last season. But how much more? It's really hard to say right now. Because we are in the rainy season in Brazil, and we need rain until March to the cherries develop well. If we lack rain sometime during this season, it may affect the productivity, it may affect the quality for the next harvest. So right now it's really hard to do a prediction for the next crop.
Do you have any message for the Korean market or coffee lover?
I think my personal perception. Yes, we can drink a good coffee in a lot of coffee shops here. Then for me is a good. I think the consumers and the companies here pay more attention in this sustainable production, sustainable chain.
Many times the people think only in one point in the supply chain, one thing. They do not think about what's behind of each product that they are buying. For example, how much plastic, how much petrol. When you buy a coffee, for example, you have the coffee, the producer that produces coffee, and we asking them to be sustainable. Okay, they are doing that. So we are evolving on it. But what about the package they use? It's sustainable production, the package. What about the roaster? What
The
about
transport.
The transport?
Yeah.
So we are only thinking one point. So
Well, include the espresso machine.
exactly all the things that are involved on it. And always when someone asks me, how do you think that we may get it right or solve this problem? I always say that you need to think what you are paying for, what you are buying. If there is pollution, if there is a lot of wrong things behind that, you are paying for it. So I think that the way to save the world is thinking what you are paying for, what you are buying. All the things. It was really good to be here with amazing people like you.
Thank you.
Just thank you and say that I'm sure that we have a great future. We are doing our part as consumers and also as producers. I have just to thank you for all.
제가 이제 이 인터뷰를 하면서 조금 사실 좀 부끄러운 면이 없지 않아 있었어요. 커피를 대할 때 이제 어떤 생각을 가지고 또 어떻게 해야 될지에 대해서 좀 더 생각을 하게 되는 시간이었는데요. 이 영상을 보시는 분들도 앞으로 우리가 커피를 대할 때 어떻게 하는 것이 좀 바람직한 자세인지, 생산자들은 어떤 노력을 했고 지금은 또 어떤 상황이고, 이러한 메시지들을 한번 이제 잘 듣고 괜찮으시다면 댓글에 한번 또 공유도 해보고 서로 한번 이야기를 해보는 시간도 가져보면 좋지 않을까라는 생각을 해봅니다. 이번 영상이 앞으로 어떻게 하면 좋을지에 대해서 함께 생각해보는 시간이 되었으면 좋겠습니다.